Hello and welcome, guys. Karibuni sana to this live recording of Know Thy Therapist. We are waiting for our guest Anne to join us, and then we'll get started immediately. In case you have any questions, you can send them, and we can answer them in the course of the video. So stick around for that. Also, you can invite a friend to join, and we can have more people in the live video. So yeah. Just give us a second as we wait for Anne to join the live session, and then we'll get started. We'll get started very, very soon once Anne joins. So we're waiting for Anne to join, and you're going to start the broadcast. We're going to start live. Then we'll get recording. Anne, can you see and hear me clearly? Oh,
Hi,
yeah,
Jennifer.
there you go, Anne.
Finally.
Hi, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can. I was trying to join with a different phone.
Yeah.
I was having.
Oh, there you go.
But let me hope that we're gonna go with this one.
Yeah, sometimes these technical challenges are all over the place, but no worries.
I tell you.
Yeah,
I
karibu
tell
sana.
you. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
How are you and how has your day been?
I'm fine, and the day has been awesome. I believe I've done what I needed to do today, and all is well.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And I know this in the beginning when we start with technical challenges, sometimes we can get very frustrated. But I'm glad that you have
yeah. You flight of thoughts and not able to even think straight.
I'm very
everyone
glad
is trying to the whole house.
Yes,
the whole house
true.
trying to sort.
Yeah, very
yeah,
true.
But I think we are good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so basically the day was good. I thank God, and successful. I was just hoping that I'll make it on time to be able to come and join you, and I'm glad that I am.
Fantastic, and thank you for having such a positive outlook on the entire issue. These things happen, and we are grateful when they eventually connect. So, asante.
You know me better.
Yes. Yeah, I do. Awesome.
But I have a whole technical team. So
yes.
relax.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Anne, for joining us today on our session of Know Thy Therapist, and we are very excited to have you here. We are grateful for your time, and so that you can get straight into it, maybe we can start with you telling us a bit about yourself and the kind of work you do and what kind of issues you treat when it comes to mental health.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer, for choosing me to the forum. My name is Anne Gitu Kimani, and I'm a counseling psychologist. And probably say that I have a diploma and a degree in counseling psychologist, and mostly I'm holistic, but I have a passion for the young people, the youth, adolescents. Then that transfers it to family, because you cannot treat the youth entirely on their own. You have to treat the system. And also, again, people who are going through loss and grief. So that's my passion.
Yeah, that's great. And it's true, you cannot really treat an individual on their own. At the end of the day, they live within a society, they live within a family. So the family will definitely get involved in the entire process of counseling.
Definitely, because there is a cause and effect.
Yeah, that's very true. So how did you become a therapist? What's the story behind your journey to becoming a counselor?
I would say part of it, Jenny, is a passion. And I will say that all of us have potentials, and we have abilities within us. And it is important to identify the abilities that you have and the potentials that are within you, and then grow them.
Yeah.
So for me, it was one of the things. And most of the times we hear from others, the people we live with, the people we interact with. They'll tell you, no, you are good in doing ABC. And when you hear that, don't just ignore. I think that's the essence of CBT.
Yes.
Find and realize whatever someone possesses, because we are able to interact and find out. And then when I'm told what I'm portraying, and when I listen to my passion, then I felt an urge and a desire to grow it. Because as you know very well, if you counsel without proper professionalism, you will probably be advising.
Yes.
You will not be able to even do any diagnosis or to understand what is going on with a particular client in order to help them effectively. And so apart from the passion, and apart from feeling like everyone is telling me and you should do this and you fit well in this counseling, you do well when you talk to people, you encourage people, I know then I needed to go a notch higher and learn the skills so that then I'm effective in doing it. Probably that's how I became a counseling psychologist, something I really enjoy doing.
Oh, that's great. So, so for you, there was a lot of people pointing out some of your strengths, and you also felt drawn by your own passion to the profession.
Oh yes, a lot. Family, friends, And it's not people who sit together and tell you. It's when you go and interact with people differently and they pick this out, then for sure you are like, all these people cannot be wrong. And also I'm feeling it. At the same time, I feel there's this urge to see people doing better. There's this urge to see people handling their issues differently. And that helped me to be able to take that path so that I can become better. And as we tell people to grow their potential, and we need to start growing our potentials so that even as we encourage others, we know what it takes to do exactly that.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. What is the most interesting thing you've learned about yourself in the process of becoming a counselor? You said that you have a diploma, you have a degree. That is a lot of time in school. So what is the most interesting thing that you discovered about yourself during this entire process? And even now that you continue discovering about yourself?
One of the things I can say, which is very interesting, and as we continue with self-awareness and self-development, is I thought I was a good listener.
You thought you were what?
A good listener.
Okay.
A good listener. And I came to realize that I was listening with one ear, and with the other ear, listening to myself to know what I'll answer you.
Yes.
So, and looking feedback, answers. I'm already thinking in my head, this is where you go wrong, that's why you're having this problem. Yet I'm there and thinking I'm listening. But I realized there's what we call active listening. And this is listening to what is said, listening to what is not said, and listening to what is in between. And I developed that ear. Now, not the 2 years, I developed the that ear to hear what is not being said. And I keep training myself and just help telling myself I do not need to conclude anyone's story. I need to hear their story. I need to understand their story. I need to understand their frame of reference, their world, what it is. I don't jump in with an answer. I don't have an answer for them. It's them who have an answer. So once I tell myself that when I'm meeting someone, then I find that it eases me off the burden of feeling like I help someone do things the way I would want them done, but to grow them to do things the way they want to do them themselves. I only need to help them look for the different potential, and that comes out of listening. Listening.
That's very true. Somebody once said that if you're not actively listening, you're not listening at all. So it's very true. Listening is an active engagement. It's something that you do actively. If you're not actively doing it, then you're not doing it at all. You have to be present, you have to be there, you have to set aside your own internal dialogue, that internal monologue that goes on in your mind. You have to set aside that and be fully present for this to really feel hard. And I think as a hustler, it's one of the biggest skills that anybody can learn. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of patience, a lot of humility.
And you know old habits, the way they die hard.
Yes. Very true. Very true.
In as much as I told you, I was someone who really used to hold people up and encourage them. So really, when you're coming to me with a problem, I almost like felt I have to have an So I have to move away from this aspect of I have to have an answer, so that I can now tone that so that we work together, so that I can be able to feel you and be able to work with you. So really, for me, apart from there's so many things. It's only that now we can't just handle it. But for me, that is key, because I know I was handling it differently. I was not listening with the that ear. Really. I was listening, and actually, I don't know whether it was empathize or sympathize, and really want to offer solutions so that I want to fix you. I want
to rescue.
So fast. I want to be okay very fast. So I realized I needed to just relax and listen, be present, so that I can hear you, I can walk with you, and you can be able also to feel felt can be able to actually be able to feel the empathy.
Yes. Yes.
And so for me, that's something I continue developing, listening with the third ear. And I like to hear what is being said again. Anytime I enter and talk to someone, not only even in therapy, even when I'm interacting, I want to hear what is not being said. Probably that's what I find myself now looking for, that, listening to that. That which you're not saying is what I listen to. And in most cases, I think I get it.
Yeah. That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Awareness of what you need to do, and basically, that's where I am.
Yeah, that's fantastic. How did that realization that you want being a good listener for a very long time, and now suddenly knowledge has shone the light and shown you the dark places where you need to work on? What did that realization do for you?
I really appreciate it, because you come to realize that as long as you are alive and active, you need to be learning.
Yes.
Learning is the thing. And we can only do things differently when we learn, when we appreciate and embrace the new knowledge we get, which makes us better. And know that our profession is about helping others. I wouldn't want to be rigid and say I don't want to change from the way I've been looking at things. And so it's a better way of doing things, probably because it produces better results. Produces better results for me and the person I'm listening to. And even when coming to probably actions and planning the way forward, it's always better, because it's from a point of understood that we're able to come up with solutions that are going to be applicable and practical, that are going to produce results. So for me, I wasn't scared, because when I desired to learn, I knew that I'm going to find out a lot. I knew that I'm going to have to shed off some of my ideas and allow what works to be put in me and integrated within me. And I really like being flexible, especially to things that are going to help me become a better person. Because even as therapists, we are doing and desiring to be better, because we cannot be able to help others be better if ourselves we haven't embraced the growth and the ability to say, I think here I need. So for me, I wasn't scared. I'm every time I learn something new, I really appreciate that I'm becoming better than I was before. I can restore back differently from the way I was looking at it before. And I'm able to understand, if I can do it, so is a client. We can be able to work together, be able to look at things differently. Yeah. So for me, learning has really helped me to enhance all that.
That's great. That's great. Thank you very much for sharing that. What do you like most about being a counselor, being a mental health professional? It's a profession that many people look at, and the first question that comes up in people's minds is, do you not get tired of listening to people's problems? They always have these very many interesting questions when people hear that you're a counselor. But for you as Anne, what is the one thing that you love the most about being a counselor, being a mental health professional?
Number one, Jenny, is, you see, that desire to see other people functioning properly is the drive. And when I'm able to work with a client who came really feeling not good enough, or whatever the situation is, and we are able to look at the issues in their lives, and this client is able to look at life differently. This client is able to cope with their stresses or challenges differently. This client able to change their attitude or whatever it is that bringing them to therapy, and they are able to walk feeling helped. And they can be able to actually terminate and maintain and be able to resolve things not able to resolve earlier. being able to understand the options they have different rather than what they were seeing they have. For me, that's key. Very, very important. Gives me personal satisfaction.
Yeah.
That human beings can get help. Human beings, if you walk with someone, really provide answers. But if you just walk and be there for someone, people can be able to feel better. Because Jenny, someone comes for therapy.
Yeah.
If someone really feels they're stuck or they need to look at things differently. And if they come to me and I'm able to work with them, and by the end of the day, they say that they've moved from point A to point B successfully,
Yeah.
that really gives me a lot of satisfaction, because the motivation and the desire is to see a society that is thriving, that is behaving well,
Yeah.
that is coping, resilient. That is the goal. That is the core in this business of
Yeah.
therapy.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. It's very true. I think being able to see your client move from point A to point B and maintain the progress, seeing people, hearing people tell you that you've actually changed their life in one way or another, I think that's a really good motivation, and it can keep you in business for long. It's really wonderful. What do you feel after all the years you've worked as a counselor, all the clients you've seen? What is the biggest lesson you've learned from your clients? What have they taught you? Something that you would attribute to them and be like, were it not for my clients, I would not know this one thing. What would that be?
Again, I would say there are many things, but probably one thing I can pick is the uniqueness of individuals.
Yeah.
We're all unique, and we are created packed, you know. We are created abilities and possibilities. God created us. Actually, each and every person is a masterpiece.
Yes.
And sometimes we do not know. And what I've come to realize also, Jenny, is all of us have weaknesses and strengths. And what you realize is many people will compare their weaknesses with the strengths of others.
Yeah, very true.
Because, Jenny, I don't know your weaknesses, because most of the times you will not share with me. I will only be able to really see your strengths. I know my weakness, and there is a tendency, mostly human beings, of leaning more on their weaknesses, the areas they feel they're not good enough, they're not doing their best. And so when I look at you, I will constantly feel, oh, I want to be like Jenny in this area. I want to do the way Jennifer. I want to, behave. So it's that a thing that really I want to be like the other person. And you know what that does? Really causes me not to embrace my strength. It causes me to grow my strength. It causes me to function at my greatest abilities, because I'm already feeling, because I'm not like Jennifer here, I'm missing, there I'm missing. And therefore, I encourage people, and this especially to the people, that learn to understand your strength and also those weaknesses or areas of improvement, so that you enhance your strength so much and not with others. Because we are all unique, we are all different, we are all packed. And if we pass to grow our strength, then when operating at their strength, we really will be able to live in a very, very good world, and we'll be able to encourage one another, work with one another. My best is my best, and I'm trying to grow it. Your best is your best, and we work together, encouraging one another, building one another. So creating awareness to my clients that what are your strengths? Some people find it like, what do I even have?
Yeah.
And as you work with this, yes, because they've really been focusing on their negatives, because they're expecting to have strengths like their friends. So it is so important to understand or to be self-aware in terms of my weaknesses, my strengths, then grow my strengths. Let not my weaknesses intimidate me.
Very true.
because nobody will even know about them unless I pronounce them or behave them.
Yeah, that's
So
very true.
I try
That's
to
very
pull
true.
my best leg forward, and that comes with awareness, Jennifer. It
Yeah.
comes with being aware of yourself. It comes with purposing to look at yourself as an individual. So for me, one of the things that I've really come to appreciate is that God made us uniquely and fully packed, actually, because you will see someone you thought they are really down there and not doing much. And once you walk with them, you really realize the beauty of that person and the way they can be able to do so much, even for what they thought they were able to do. The way you see young people just blossom and start living their lives like, wow, yeah, this is it. Focusing and refocusing, changing their attitude. And for me, I've learned it's good to take each and every person as an individual. Don't generalize.
Yeah,
Yeah, God
that's
made
very
us
true.
different, and He made us uniquely. He packed us with potentials. Can we just be in the business of finding out what am I best at
Yeah.
and who am I? That's where we go back to.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very true, and I agree with everything you're saying. And I think the one biggest problem right now we have about people comparing their strengths to other people, comparing themselves to against other people's strengths, as you're putting it. The one biggest problem I've
Yeah.
seen is this the issue with social media right now, that we can curate these very perfect lives on the internet where we do not have problems, where we have money, we go to places, we do things, we can afford grand things, we can afford to have lavish parties every single weekend. And then somebody who's just watching this content on their social media does not realize that that is a curated timeline, that is a
Yeah.
life that has been photoshopped, those are things that have, some of them are even borrowed, some of them are things that do not belong to these people that they parade on the internet. And so
Yeah.
you find people um struggling with a lot of inferiority complex, people struggling with a lot
True.
of uncertainty about their lives, people getting depressed and anxious about the lives
Yeah.
they are living, people feeling less,
True.
people feeling a lot of getting jealous and judgmental about
Yeah.
other people, and they're all basing this behavior on what they see on the internet. So it's like the internet just creates a doorway where we can keep being fed false ideas and false lifestyles, and us believing that that is reality, and then now comparing ourselves to that fake reality, not realizing that we are hurting ourselves in the progress. I think that's very true to what you're speaking about.
Yes. So it's
Yeah.
very important everyone gets to be self-aware. Who am I? What are my strengths? What are areas I need to improve myself? Focus more on those strengths
Yeah.
uh, and become all the best that you can be. And don't allow anyone to judge you. Be your own self-judge. Probably the
Yeah.
only person who needs to judge us is God Himself, because He's
Yeah,
the
that's
one who
very,
created.
yeah.
Yeah. So important. It's
Yeah, that's
important
great.
to just to not compare ourselves with others and maximize our strengths.
Yeah, very true,
Mm-hmm.
very true. With the state of mental health in Kenya, of course, we are still struggling with stigma around mental health issues. We are still struggling with people not seeking help when they need it, because sometimes out of the fear that they'll be judged and all these things. What would you want more Kenyans realize about mental health in general? What would you wish more people knew so that they can seek help when they need it?
Yeah, mental health brings the idea of mental health brings stigma and shame. But one of the things that we need to demystify is mental health is not about being, it is a state of well-being
Mm,
holistically.
mm,
And it is, I say it is okay not to be okay.
yeah.
Because the moment you realize you're not okay, that's when you take a step of trying to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that mental health is important, just as the physical health and the spiritual
Yeah.
health. And mental health in Kenya now is accessible, it is available, it
Mm-hmm.
is doable, and it is possible to get mental health from people who will not judge you. So we need to come out from this of thinking mental health is just about kutupambao, you know? It's not about that. It's just being able to function and the ability to really get in touch with yourself and be holistically well.
Yeah.
And it's okay not to be okay, because it's not that we are going to be okay all the time.
Yeah.
And when you feel that you're not okay, just seek help. That really will go, because if there is an issue, like for example, if someone has depression and they are not getting help, it's not going to get better by sitting back.
Yeah, very true.
Correct. But if I'm feeling like I have these mood issues, I really am not feeling like I'm myself, I'm having this lack of pleasure in the things to enjoy. And most of the time, you know, someone will not know, because I'm quoting them because I'm a counselor. Many times people will not know that this is a result of a depression or a mood disorder that is coming on. So whenever you feel sometime you're not okay, just talk to someone. Talk to someone who will probably be able to pick and realize maybe you need to talk to someone, maybe you need to talk to a therapist so that they can tell you what is going on. So whenever you please talk to someone, even if your first stop is not a therapist, but just get help from someone. Talk to someone when you have an issue that you feel you need to address. It's important. Then mental health is accessible. It is very, very important, just as the physical health is. And we just demystify. And you can easily walk in to a counselor and just have that talk therapy. It is for your own good. You're not doing it for others. You're doing it for yourself. And once you do it and you start functioning, it's to your own benefit and the benefit of your significant people and to the benefit of whatever else you do in life. So I would encourage people, when you realize yourself or your loved one is not operating to their best or to the way that they are, for some, the way we are made by God, we are able to identify journey when we are not okay. So let's not ignore when we see others that we love or we live with looking differently from what we know. And then, as you know, we are living in times where life is quite hard and difficult. And also realize we are different in the way we take challenges. So, like if I have my family and I notice one of my children is not behaving well, I won't tell him behaving like this and everyone is not. He's not everyone else. He's unique.
Yeah, he's unique. He's unique.
Yeah, he's unique. He's not. I'm not just expecting everyone to behave the same, even if we are going through the same circumstances. So you need to address each and every person as an individual. You need to help them come out from their situation. And so I would say that mental accessible, it's available, and nowadays in Kenya it is there. It is no longer to make someone feel ashamed. We need to demystify and say that you can walk to a therapist and just talk to someone who is just going to help you. I've seen some once and they get it and and they're like, wow, so that was the missing link. And they're able to navigate about life effectively. So we are there. We are.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. It's what we keep saying, that there's no health without mental health. So you have to start with taking care of yourself so that you can take care of others and you can live a healthier life in general. I think that's quite important. Still on the subject, what would you recommend? There are some mental health resources you would recommend people have a look at, just in case they don't have access to a counselor at the moment. Are there things that you would recommend them to look at to help them on a day-to-day basis with their mental health?
Yes, we live in the era of Google.
Yes,
and
very true.
And it's not good to be ignorant, because we know well that we can really get a lot of resources online, but it is important also to check where you're getting this help, because we know that you can really also get wrong information on the. So if for me, psychology is something I love. the website and the materials that they would offer, a lot of materials that would help us in becoming resilient in life, ability to resolve issues, and all. Look for materials that can help you to do it yourself. If you're having a challenge with parenting, sure, there's so much about parenting online. You can borrow, but you see, the problem with us, and I've come to realize, we read, but we don't apply. We read, then we are not practical, and so we don't change. So it is important to look at the right content. It is important to go to the website. If you are a reader of books and you know you are struggling with a certain area, just buy a book or ask a friend that will help you. This includes things like mental health or area you feel like you're not functioning well, and books are written. Just read. Like I love to read myself. If I'm not online, I have a book when I have a time. If I travel with a matatu from where I live to Nairobi, most of the times you find a book. And trying to equip yourself. I don't just read novels for the sake of feeling good. Probably I'm past that age of entertaining myself with a novel. I read materials that are going to enhance me, that spiritually, materials that psychologically, materials that are going to help me gain information to be able to help others. Because you know, well, no one is a tree of knowledge. You need to borrow.
That's fantastic.
Others. So I would recommend that people go to websites which are helpful and resourceful. People can read books.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much.
Myself.
Thank you so much for those. We'll definitely put them in the description of this video so that guys can access them, especially the ones that you've directly recommended. What do you do for yourself for self-care on a day-to-day basis? Considering you're a counselor, you see so many clients with different issues, you have your own life that might have its own challenges. How do you make sure that you are okay on a day-to-day basis? What are some tips that you use for yourself?
Jenny, any to be holistic, and we normally talk the 4 aspects of human being. That is the spiritual, the physical, the social dimension, and also psychological. So for me, I put life key because I believe in inside out wellness. If my inside is not okay, and inside is that spirit that people don't see, but it is the one that causes what is inside shine, not to shine. So I spiritually take my care of myself through prayer, reading the Word of God, and living according to what the Word of God says. I listen to praise and worship. That's my area of strength. It really causes me to release a lot of stress if I'm stressed out. I also connect socially, that with my friends when we need to laugh very well. It's healthy. When you find my friends, you'll see that little girl. And I connect very well when I'm with girls, so that I'm not this serious therapist all the time. So physically, I eat. I would say I eat healthy, and I also walk a bit. Most of the times I'm seated in the office. But when it's time to walk, I walk a distance to take my matatu or whatever I'm doing. I'm conscious about keeping healthy. I'm conscious about what I need to do, and so I do it intentionally.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Interact with family. You know, you can do so many other things well, but if you're not building where you are, if you're not connected to your significant others, they really can be a stress journey. So
that's very
it
true.
is important to keep others happy so that they can also keep you happy. So
that's very true. That's very true. I think family is important. Family is quite important. Friends are quite important, as you've said. Spirituality, physical exercise, all those things are quite important. It's the foundation. So I'm really glad that what you're preaching is what you exercise, you practice. That's really commendable. Somebody might be listening right now and thinking that they like you and they want to, they're very impressed with the kind of work that you do, and they would like to work with you, maybe recommend a friend or a family member or even their teenager, because you said you work with teenagers and families as well. So how would this person get in touch with you if they wanted to contact you to book a session or to just have a conversation with you? How can people get in touch with you?
Okay, I think my number is on this website. Is on this online. They can get me because we like booking appointments. It's important to book appointments.
Yes.
It is important to just make that contact because most of the counseling is not a walk-in.
Yes.
So I don't know if the number is here or I should say it. I'm not sure.
We can share it. We can share it in the description of the video. Don't worry.
Yes, you will share it. So all office somewhere in Buruburu. If someone now was to reach out to me, I would just tell them what time and when. And yes. So that's right.
I think we can also share with them an email address where they can email you in case they don't have access to calling you or anything. They can just get in touch with you via email, and you guys can talk further to book a session.
Sure.
Oh, fantastic. Awesome. So, Anne, thank you so much for this wonderful conversation. It's been great getting to know you. And I'm sure the audience has equally benefited from hearing from you, understanding what you do, how you do what you do, and how you have ended up on this path that you're on right now. So thank you so much for your time. And thank you so much for sharing with us so honestly and so openly. We really appreciate it. And we wish you nothing but the best in the coming days, weeks, and months.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. A pleasure mine. And it was good interacting with you, with the audience. And we are out here to help. And God helps so that we can help others. Thank you and bye for now.
Bye-bye, Anne. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.